Hello students. So basically today I'm going to start lecture number 6 of the chapter which was in continuation, that is nature and purpose of business. So far we have completed about the characteristics and economic non-economic activities, the difference between business profession and all that we have completed. Now let's move towards the next topic, that is trade versus commerce. So what is trade and what is commerce? What are those? So just see here. It is being written that business activities are grouped into two broad categories. Now we know about the business activities. What are those? We know it. These business activities are again divided into, rather grouped into two broad categories. So it's like here if you see the business activities, it has been divided into two categories, that is industry, another is commerce. Fine. Again commerce has been divided into another two categories, that is trade and auxiliaries to trade. What are those? So basically, what is the difference between trade and commerce? If I ask you, so what you will tell? Trade, like it's selling, buying and selling of goods and services. In just layman sense, you will tell this. But what is the basic difference between trade and commerce? So if you see here the comparison chart, here it is written that trade, the possession of goods or services, is given from one person to the another in payment of cash or cash equivalents. Trade can be performed between two parties or more than two parties. Then what is trade? Mr. A is a person who is doing the business of, Mr. A has a retail shop, like he used to sell the stationery items. Okay, like you can say that your copies, books, pen, pencil and all that. So here Mr. B, another person, he is the buyer. So he will just go to Mr. A's shop and will buy a pen, and in return to that, what Mr. B will give, he will take the pen on one hand and he will give the money, maybe 10 rupees, this is sign of rupees, okay, maybe 20 rupees, whatever may be the case. So now this is simply exchange is happening between Mr. A and Mr. B. So exchange of goods is happening. So trade means simply exchange of goods, or you can say by exchange of services can be also there. So how it is possible? Here if Mr. A used to produce computer software, just take the example of antivirus for your computer. Now you cannot see it through your eyes, but you can feel it that yes, virus is not attacking on my computer, on my PC, because the software is being installed in my computer, right? So now Mr. B has went to Mr. A and taken this computer software. So in return of that, he is giving money, maybe 1,200, 2,600, like this. So you know better. So this will be termed as services, exchange of service, and this can be termed as exchange of goods, which can be seen, touched and can be felt with your eyes, that is goods, and which cannot be seen and touched but can be felt only, can be realized only, that is known as the service. So now, trade simply means buying and selling of goods and services in return for money or money's worth. Simple buying and selling of goods and services in exchange of the money or money's worth. This is called trade. And if you go for the commerce, so what is commerce actually? If you see here, commerce involves all the activities that aid in the promoting the exchange of goods and services from the manufacturer to the last customers. What does this mean? Who is manufacturer? Customer? We know that we are the customers, those who used to buy the goods and services. So who are the manufacturer in this case? Suppose near your home there is a shop, retail shop, who is used to sell the stationery items. Okay. So the person who is selling these stationery items, is he producing the pen and then selling to you? Is he making the pen using labor, machineries? Is he doing so? No. From where the pen is coming? Through several hands the pen is coming. Someone at first has to make the pen. The person or the organization or the company which will make the pen is known as manufacturer. Who will do the production activity, that he is known as the manufacturer. That is, who is doing the manufacturing process is known as the manufacturer. Then after it is being passed with several stages, it will come to distributor, then wholesaler will be there. Sometimes also we buy goods from the wholesale market as well. So then only it will come in the hand of retailer. After that it will go directly to us, customer. So this is a very big process. 3 to 4 persons, 3 to 4 companies may be involved between the manufacturer and the customer. So commerce means the entire process when the goods are manufactured or produced in a particular place and then it is being transferred to the customer, the ultimate customer. The good just goes to the ultimate customer's hand. The whole process is known as commerce. So I think it's clear. Now let's look the next point. As you know, trade here, if you see, the scope is narrow. Narrower scope, it is very just the selling and buying of exchange of goods and services. But commerce here, it is broad in nature. Why it is broad in nature? Different activities has to be crossed to come the product from manufacturer hand to the ultimate customer's hand. So that will include all the activities: banking, transportation service when the goods are coming from one place to another, advertising, because until and unless any actor or actress or any person who is well known by us will give any advertisement regarding any shampoo or regarding anything, it is not sellable. It cannot be sold to the customers. So that's why advertisement, also this commerce also includes this advertising as well. What is warehousing? When the pens are being produced, it is not so that only 10 pens will be produced in a particular day. There may be 50,000, 60,000 pens will be produced in a particular day that needs to be stored somewhere. That storage, that area, that place is known as warehouse. So this facility insurance, when the goods are coming from the manufacturer hand to the wholesaler, what may happen? In the middle, there can be any theft, there can be any loss. You may see that due to those goods which are like liquid in nature, it can evaporate easily also. So there will be certain amount of loss. So when this loss will happen, who will bear this? For that, the insurance to be done. by the insurance company, the insurance to be done. So likewise, every activities, as we will go depth, we will come to know about this in details. But in brief, if we say all these activities are being included in commerce. So here the scope is much more broader than the trade, right? So here you can see that association. You just ignore this point because later on I will come with this point. Now you will see that it's an association. The association will be between the exchange of goods and services will be between the buyer and the seller in case of trade. But while we are moving towards commerce, it is being said that between the manufacturer and the customer, which you have understood. Capital requirement. When you are starting any business, when you are starting anything, capital requirement will be there. That means money is required, your infrastructure is required, machinery is required, so certain amount of cash is required. So that is known as capital. When you are doing any trade, the capital requirement will be much more, as because when you are introducing a retail shop, the capital requirement will be more. But in case of banking services or warehousing or insurance services, when you are going through these services, the capital requirement will be less in case of commerce. Frequency of transactions. Here it is being called in trade that it is isolated in nature. Isolated means whenever there will be any sale or purchase, then only the transaction will occur. In accountancy, you know the meaning of transaction now. So that will occur. But in case of commerce, it is regular in nature because regular basis, the banking, transportation, advertising, warehousing, insurance, these types of services goes on. So now it is well understood that what is the basic difference between the trade and commerce, right? Now, here it is being also written, see, the scope of commerce is wider than that of trade, which not only refers to the exchange of goods and services, but also includes all those activities that are vital for the completion of that exchange. It includes all those activities that are vital for the exchange process. To further comprehend the understanding, it is being given that business activities can be divided into industry and commerce. Commerce is further divided into trade and auxiliaries to trade. So this trade and auxiliaries to trade, we will come about the auxiliaries to trade. This combination will form the part commerce. Trade plus auxiliaries to trade equals to commerce. Okay. And industry is a different thing. We will come to it later on. So now this is the main classification of the business activities. Now trade, you know now about the trade. I will come about the auxiliaries to trade just in the next lecture. Till then, go up to lecture number 6 first, then only move towards lecture number 7, because until and unless you will move like lecture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you cannot move to lecture number 7. So first of all, you complete up to lecture number 6, then you will move towards lecture number 7.